John Fredericks, America's Godzilla of truth, popular and proficient in picking politics with prophetic precision. And now Jay Fred's picking football.
Are y'all ready for this?
All across the airwaves and streams of the John Fredericks Media Network. Brought to you by DraftKings.com. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla wins. Your guide to picking football winners. With America's Godzilla of truth, John Fredericks. Brought to you by DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com. Promo code Godzilla for the best money and betting giveaways in America. Before you make that play, hear what J. Fred has to say. Godzilla wins on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Oh yeah, for entertainment purposes only.
Welcome, everybody, to our first NFL 2022 edition of Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com for all our picks there. Also, you can sign up for our newsletter. Just go to JohnFredericksRadio.com. Get it right to your inbox. And don't forget, bookmark this, GodzillaWins.com. We're posting things every day. We got college football today on GodzillaWins.com. We got Nate's six-pack coming up. You got Nate's big win on Thursday night on one of his futures with Josh Allen. We're going to be talking about that. And we are ready to roll. Plus, throughout this segment, we're going to try to take some of your phone calls as things get lit up. Also, don't forget, we're on Getter Live. You can see me right now. In fact, if you go to Getter Live and you just put in John Fredericks radio show, boom, watch the live stream, you get to see me in my number one favorite Astro shirt. Astros winning again last night. Yankees losing because Aaron Hicks thinks a fair ball is a foul ball, and he walks over to picks it up as two Tampa Bay runs score. It's unbelievable. The Yankees losing every day. Astros now have a 6.5 game lead for the best record. But this isn't about baseball. This is about NFL football. And, folks, we are ready to go. Well, I just want to tell you right off the bat, you got to get in the game. And you do that by going to DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com. How easy is that? Download the free app. Put a promo code Godzilla. It's the best promo code ever in the history of man. Put in promo code Godzilla. Boom. Here's what you get. For a $5 bet on any of the teams that we want today. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. You get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. How can you beat that? Bet $5, get $200 in free bets immediately. That's the giveaway. Now, any game that you bet on the line like we have, right, like we're going over today, here's what else they do, right, with promo code Godzilla. If your team gets up by 7 points at any time during the game, anytime up by 7, guess what happens? Boom, you win the bet. You could be laying 24, 22, 15, 3. You get up by 7 at any point in the game, 21, 14, 7, nothing. Bang, you win your bet. Now, how do you do that? Well, you just got to go to GodzillaWins.com. GodzillaWins.com. Go to DraftKings.com. Put in Godzilla as your promo code. You get everything right there. And, of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. And we encourage everybody, if you're on a sports book legal in your state, to play responsibly, right? You want to do that. And if you have a gambling problem or anybody you know, call the Gambling Problem Helpline at 888-335-5300. You're good to go. Now, let's get right to the picks. Joining us now is my esteemed panel. One of them getting off a big win on Thursday night is Nate and I took the pipe. We've got Jack, my son Jack Fredericks. He's live at the Jackpot Casino in Tunica, and Nate Perry getting up early. We got to get him up early on Saturdays on the West Coast, and he is in the Navcal Casino in Reno. Gentlemen, welcome. Hang on to your seatbelts. Let's go. Let's start with Thursday night's game. Jack, you picked the Bills. Nate and I took the pipe with the Rams. We brought into all the statistics. I'm going to start with you, Nate. I looked at this game. Actually, it was 31-10. I went to bed when it was 10-10 at the half. But it should have really been 50-10 because without those 3 turnovers, I don't think the Rams stopped them once. Nate.
No, I mean it was brutal. I mean, it looked like, it might be kind of competitive. It looked, we hoped that maybe the Rams could figure it out, and they just didn't. I mean, they didn't look good at all. They were flat. They didn't look prepared, which is unusual. And I just couldn't get away from the trends either. I mean, Super Bowl winners perform unbelievably well in week 1. They do really well straight up. They do really well against the spread, and I just bought into the trends, and we got fooled last week, or we got fooled on Thursday, I guess.
Yeah, you got fooled. But, Jack, you had the winner, right? And the Bills looked unstoppable. I guess they lived up to the hype, right, Jack?
Yeah, I think so. One of the reasons I took the Bills is because I think they're going to win the Super Bowl, so I figured, well, I might as well just take them in Week 1. The Rams don't benefit from a home game. Los Angeles isn't really giving you much home field advantage. There was lots of Bills Mafia there. The Bills could have scored 50. I mean, that first interception wasn't Allen's fault, just dropped out of the receiver's hands. And the big thing with the Bills is a couple years ago they had an elite defense, and Josh Allen was still maturing, but they could stop anybody on defense. And that's what it looked like last night. It looks like the Bills' defense is back. If the Bills' defense is back, then this team is winning 15 games. I mean, nobody can stop Josh Allen anyway.
I mean, that defensive line on Buffalo looked good. The Titans go there next week. I'm just hoping to maybe we can slow the game down a little bit, but they looked unstoppable. But, hey, it's Week 1, right? So we got a lot of football, right? We got a lot of football. It's Week 1. I mean, last year I think was the Cardinals crushed Tennessee in Nashville 38-10 or something, and they look like the unstoppable team. They get off to a 7-0 start, and then they don't even make the playoffs. They crash. So we'll have to see what happens. It's a long time. But certainly the Bills did look good. Okay, let's get right to Sunday's card. And, look, I'm not going to, brag, but I crushed you guys last year, so I'm giving you another opportunity to redeem yourselves this season. I was 30 games over 500 against the spread, better than anybody in Vegas. Now we got to top that this season. All right, let's get right to the games. And, I'm the only one that picks them all. You guys have your own picks. We're going to get to that. Ravens at Jets. Jets are +7. Look, there is no way I'm going to bet the Jets. I don't care if it's 7, 10, 15, until they prove to me they're not a dumpster fire. Joe Flacco's at quarterback. Are you kidding me? Plus, you got the Ravens quarterback in a contract dispute right now. So Lamar's got something to prove. Ravens are just a superior team. I see them going to Meadowlands, which isn't even a home stadium now, with so many different fans there. And the Jets, I see them going in here, winning this game handily. I like the Jets. I'm sorry. I like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. I don't see anybody stopping him. He's back healthy now. Lay the 7. I got Ravens -7. Nate, no pick, Nate?
Yeah, no pick, Nate. I've been high on this Jets team. One of our running jokes has been that, I'm all in on the Jaguars, and I love the Jets. I have Super Bowl futures for both at over 100-1. I do not recommend anyone make those bets. But the Jets are a team that I've had my eye on for a while. I've been optimistic with them over the summer. I think Robert Saleh is a good coach. I expected Zach Wilson to make the leap, and then Zach Wilson gets injured. So I don't love this team anymore. I think that Joe Flacco will probably be fine, for the 4 weeks that Zach Wilson will be recovering, but we'll see. This isn't a game that I have a strong feel for. It's not a pick for me. I don't know how many injuries Baltimore's going to have. They seem to just be injured constantly there for the last 3 years. That looks to be more of the same. Who knows what Lamar Jackson's sort of motivation level is like. You'd think that he'd want to play because he doesn't have a contract after this year, and you'd think he'd want to play well, but maybe he comes out a little bit flat. This game just has so many question marks for me, I can't pick it.
All right, Jack, you also had no pick in this game, so we'll move on again. I love Ravens here, -7. Okay, Indianapolis goes to Houston to play the Texans. Listen, everybody's picking the Colts to win the division. I get it. It's kind of like Buffalo, right? The media sucks up to them. They all love the Colts. I've been going through it as a Titans fan forever. It's laughable when they play. Everybody sucks up to Frank Reich, but, is Pat Ryan the answer? Long term, I don't know. It seems like they go to Andrew Luck, he retires. Then they go to Phillip Rivers, he retires. Then they go to Carson Wentz, he sucks. Now they're going to Pat Ryan, some washed up has-been with the Dirty Birds. But, guys, this Texans team is you talk about a nightmare disaster in a rebuild. This could be the worst team in the history of the NFL. I don't think they're going to win a game. If they do, maybe one. They're absolutely pathetic. And as I said in my column, the only reason I would ever see them play is to watch Lovie Smith's beard grow on the sidelines. That's about it. Colts are only 7. They should be 15 in this game. I like the Colts on the road, minus the 7 blowout. Jack?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about you, Dad, is you really shouldn't be allowed to pick AFC South games that don't have to do with the Titans because you just hate them so much, and all you do, like, I mean, your analysis is fine, but it's just there's so much vitriol. You know, the Colts are going to be good. I don't really understand why you think they're not. They have a good defense. Matt Ryan won an MVP at one point. He'll be a serviceable quarterback, better than Carson Wentz. And also the Texans are going to surprise some teams. You know, some teams. Lovie Smith is a pretty good coach, and he wins kind of wherever he goes. So I really hate laying 7 here. I don't like laying 7 or more in an NFL game because it just feels like too many points. But because I picked the Colts to win the division, I think they might win 12 games. I'm just going to go ahead and lay the 7 and pray that the Colts win by 10.
I think it's an easy bet. We both like Colts minus 7. Nate, you've got a different take, Nate.
I got a different take. Yeah, I like the Texans here. This is probably, you know, and this just hurts to say, this is probably my favorite bet of the week, and I'm really just sorry about that. They're not a good team, right? That part is just, we'll just get that out of the way right now. But they fit some really strong trends that I like. Mostly that bad divisional underdogs at home perform really well in week 1. And, you know, we're catching 7 points here with a bad divisional underdog at home. So, you know, my dad keeps telling me that Davis Mills isn't the worst quarterback in history, and maybe it's time I start to believe him, and the Texans kind of hang around here. The Colts are typically pretty slow starters. Frank Reich's record in week 1 is not good. He's 0-4 lifetime, and I think that the Colts, you know, maybe get off to a little bit of a sluggish start. Maybe the Texans, you know, take advantage of some familiarity and maybe show us something and stick around in this game.
All right, so you like the Texans plus 7. Jack and I went with the Colts. Okay, you're gonna start off the season 0-2 with your bet on the Rams. So you're gonna have a long way back, Nate. Right? You're better off doing no picks in some of these games. It sure beats losing. All right, Niners go to the Bears. This is another game, folks. I mean, everybody knows I don't like bad teams. I don't bet on them, hoping they cover. And that's what a lot of people do. I got to take the points. I think maybe they'll cover. Maybe, you know, they'll get a garbage touchdown. I'm up so much because I never do that. That is my number one rule. If I don't think the team can win the game, I won't bet them regardless of the spread. That's been my number one rule, along with I don't bet against Kansas City at Arrowhead or the Packers in Green Bay. My father taught me that in the 60s. Still holds true. By the way, that was Jack's grandfather, and he knows that well. Bears are horrible until Justin Fields can complete 2 passes in a row. I have no interest in this team. There's only so many times the young fella can run. This is a pitiful club. I mean, the Bears are just pitiful. San Francisco, they got a great defense. Now everybody's got the heartthrob going for Trey Lance, but if he falters, you know, Jimmy Jesus is just standing around on the sidelines. I don't know if he's going to be his mentor or what he is. Another one that's 7 in Chicago. I don't see the Bears winning this game. San Francisco is a better team. I like the Niners minus the 7. These to me are the 3 easiest wins on the board. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you here with San Francisco. This looks like a spot where they can just roll here. I love Trey Lance. I'm super optimistic for Trey Lance this season. I have an MVP ticket for him. I think, you know, and I think this is a good spot for Trey Lance to sort of get eased into, you know, being the full-time starter. Chicago did this thing where they decided that, you know, their defense wasn't that great, and then they just got rid of all the pieces that would have made it just, you know, competent. So now they have basically no defense at all. So what you're looking at is a team that's probably going to be fairly defenseless against Trey Lance. We all know how good of a play caller Kyle Shanahan is and how good he is at scheming up plays. This looks like an opportunity for him to just kind of do whatever he wants, kind of score at will. and I can't see Chicago being able to slow them down at all. I like the Niners here too.
All right, Jack, you have no pick in this game, so we're going to move on. Okay, Eagles go to Detroit. Lions, we're on HBO, Hard Knocks, so they're everybody's loving team. Look, everybody wants the Lions to win. You know, we saw them lose so many games, Jack, last season in the final minute. And one of the best lines ever was from their quarterback, Jared Goff, after another game that they blew in like the final 20 seconds. When he did the post-game show, they asked him, you know, what is it going to take for the Lions to learn how to win? And he had one of the best, most insightful quotes ever. He said, before that, we have to learn how not to lose. And I think that's kind of where the Lions are right now. They have to prove to me they can win games. I get the HBO thing. You know, I get the, you know, the Dan Campbell culture that he's trying to do. I get all that. But the team's just, again, they're not very good. Now they're taking on an Eagles team that I picked to win the division. I think the Eagles could be one of the best teams in the NFL. I love AJ Brown. I love that acquisition they got. Yeah, I'm not. Am I the biggest fan of Jalen Hurts? No, but AJ's going to make some plays. They got a first-class defense. They go on the road. They got to just cover by a field goal of one. I like Eagles minus the 4. Jack?
I can't keep recommending people bet these road teams as favorites. I mean, at some point, a home team has to cover or win. I like the Lions. I think Jared Goff is a serviceable quarterback. I think the Lions have a pretty good defense. I'm not that high on Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to lose the game. I don't think the Eagles are going to win the division. I just think they're going to either win a lot of close games or lose a lot of close games. This game's going to be close. You're better off just taking the home team plus 4.5 points. That's a lot of points at home in an NFL game. This isn't college. I don't see the Eagles at all in this situation. If it was in Philadelphia, sure, but I'm taking Detroit. That's a tough place to play. And Jared Goff isn't, he's no slouch.
Well, I mean, you're right about this. People have bet Detroit because the line opened at 4.5. It's now on DraftKings. Now it went down to 4, which means there's Lions money moving that line down. So okay, so you like Detroit at home plus the 4, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty typical of every Hard Knocks team, right? Everyone feels like they're their favorite team. They feel like they're part of the team after watching them on Hard Knocks, and they feel like they're a lot better than they are because they buy into HBO's storylines. Bottom line is Detroit's still just not that good. They don't have that much talent. Their defense is especially bad, and you're looking at a Philly team that I think could really be competitive in the NFC. We're talking, make it all the way to the NFC Conference Finals. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility for this team. They have elite offensive line, incredible defensive line. The only real question mark is Jalen Hurts, but they seem to have found their offense. They seem to have found their style of play, run heavy, and I think that A.J. Brown's just going to open things up for them through the air as well. This is an Eagles team that it kills me to say is going to be really good as a long-suffering Cowboys fan, but I think the Eagles are the play here.
Y'all
all right.
Y'all crazy. Detroit's winning this game. I mean, I'm going to win on this. They're going to win the whole game. I'd lay points. No, I'm not.
All right. Well, Jack likes he's got the Lions plus 4. Nate and I we love the Eagles minus the 4 again. Detroit's got to win some games here to get me fired up. Now, here's what I am going to do, Jack. I'm betting him on Thanksgiving Day like I've done for the last 48 years, which I bet him every Thanksgiving Day. I don't even know what my record is. I don't care. That's what I do. I don't care who they're playing. Jack knows this. Have you ever bet with me at a Thanksgiving where I've not bet the Lions ever? No.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's what you do. Sometimes you get creamed. It must just be, a way for you to release some stress on Thanksgiving Day. It's just, it makes no sense.
Put the turkey in, bet the Lions, watch the game. That's what I've been.
Sounds like a good way to ruin Thanksgiving.
I've been doing that for 50 years. It's just
now you have a
change.
gambling show.
So I can still do it. Okay. Oh, now we get to some. Now we get into the black and blue division here. Steelers at Bengals. Bengals are minus 6.5. That's kind of a big line when you look at the Steelers. But in my mind, this really should be 8 or 9. Here's the thing. If Mitch Trubisky is the answer in Pittsburgh, it's got to be a really stupid question. I mean, they're going with Trubisky. Like, this is like big news. Like, if you opened up the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, it was on the headline on Wednesday. I mean, you have got to be kidding me. If they think Mitch Trubisky's their savior that's going to, bring them to as a playoff contender, look, this is another sorry team. They're in a rebuild. And a lot of these early games in Pittsburgh, I'm telling you, you're going to get overlays because of Steelers Nation, Steelers money. It all comes in. This game should be 8 or 9. Cincinnati's just better, and so they're at home. I'm going to lay the just under a touchdown. I like the Bengals here minus 6.5. Coupled with the fact that, look, if you really look at this Bengals team, they've got to prove to people they weren't a fluke. They came into Nashville. They beat them. They beat Kansas City on the road. They beat everybody on the road. And then they went to the Super Bowl. And if Stafford throws one interception or actually one incompletion on that final drive, they win the Super Bowl. So I like the Bengals minus the 6.5. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that the Bengals had a great run last year on their way to the Super Bowl. But this is, it's another spot where you hate the bad team and you pick the big favorite and you're willing to lay unlimited points in that regard. And this is in a spot where I think that's warranted. I think the Steelers plus 6.5 are a good bet here. I like them so much, I might just put a little bit on the money line because I think that they could pull the upset here. They pulled the upset last year against the Bills in Week 1, and I think they can do it again. Mike Tomlin is an absolute monster as an underdog coach. Dude covers like crazy as an underdog. And really, I think they match up well with the Bengals. Pittsburgh's bread and butter this year is not going to be their offense, but their defense should be good. Their defensive line is good. Their secondary should be good. And I think they're going to slow the Bengals down enough with that to be able to stick around in this game and maybe pull out a little bit of an upset.
Well, we'll see. I don't see it. They're trading off their reputation. They got to go into Cincinnati. This place is going to be packed. I mean, I saw those Bengals fans when Jack's brother Joe and I went to that playoff game in Nashville. They're pretty rabid. I just don't see it. Again, if you think they can win, fine. Jack, you have no pick in this game here, so we're going to move on to Cleveland at Charlotte. Browns at Panthers. Now, on paper, well, this game's even. This is actually the only game that's even. It's a pick'em game. I can't. I mean, what did Cleveland do? They get rid of Baker Mayfield, who's now starting for Charlotte. So they get rid of him, and they say, he can't get us to the next level. Then they sign for all this money Deshaun Watson, who is a train wreck in all aspects of the world. I mean, the guy's got all kinds of legal issues going on. I'm not going to comment on it because they're all allegations. He gets suspended for 8 games. Now they have no quarterback. This team is in complete disarray. It's got to be one of the worst managed franchises in the history of football. And so, look, I don't like Coach Rule either. Nate, I don't think he's that good. I think he's on the hot seat. But McCaffrey's back, and they're a solid team. I mean, they were a couple plays away last season from getting in the playoffs, the Panthers were. I like the Panthers at home with Baker Mayfield, revenge game. Go with the Cats. Nate?
Yeah, I like the Browns here, I guess. I don't know. The Browns are just like morally bankrupt as a team. They're inept to a level that should be criminal. I mean, they're just like a disaster, right? They go all in on Deshaun Watson, and now he's suspended forever, and that's fine. And Jacoby Brissett will be okay for Cleveland. And Cleveland, it feels weird saying this, actually has like a pretty good roster after years of just disaster. And I think that they'll be able to compete with Carolina, mostly because Matt Rule sucks as a coach. He's not good. And I think that Carolina's probably going to be figuring some things out on offense. Baker Mayfield's new there. New offensive coordinator. It looks like they're probably going to want to pass the ball more than they have in recent years, maybe try and not lean quite as heavily on Christian McCaffrey for the run game. And it just feels like a game where Cleveland's going to be competitive. They're not asking Jacoby Brissett to do much other than just hand the ball off and run it. They should be able to run pretty effectively against Carolina. This looks like a good spot for the Browns, as much as I hate to say it because I just sort of hate the team. I think Cleveland's probably the play here.
All right. Jack, obviously you're the deal breaker in this one.
Yeah, in the column I picked Carolina, and the reason I did it is because I think Carolina's going to surprise some teams. This year I think they're going to probably finish second in the division. Who knows? I mean, the Bucs are kind of a disaster too right now. So I'm just kind of putting my money where my mouth is. But to be honest with you, I don't really have a feel for this game. I think the Browns are pretty good. Like Nate says, they have a good roster. They're very explosive on both sides of the ball. I like Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he might not be an NFL caliber quarterback, but he's serviceable enough to keep the game close. And, Baker throws a ton of picks all the time. And Matt Rule, like Nate said, he's just not very good. So I'm going with Carolina. I'm giving you reasons why you should take Cleveland. I'm just going with Carolina because I just am hoping that I'm right, that they're good this year, so I don't look stupid. But I don't know. Cleveland could win this game. I mean, that's why it's even. Just pick whatever team you like better and just root for them.
I like the revenge aspect. I think Baker Mayfield's got something to prove. I don't think we're going to see 3 picks out of him. Plus, McCaffrey. I mean, when he's healthy, Charlotte wins. I mean, he's probably the second best back to the beast in the NFL. I mean, he's explosive. He's tough. He gets a lot of yards. So, I mean, yeah, Cleveland's good, but I like Mayfield here. I like Charlotte at home. And if they're going to be a contender and Rule's going to keep his job, if Matt Rule's going to keep his job, and none of us like him, right? I just don't think he's that good either, Nate. But if he's going to keep his job, this is a game they have to win. You're at home opener, playing a team that's in complete disarray. You have to win this game, or he's going to be on the hot seat immediately. So I'm going to go with
I think he's already on the
Cats.
hot seat. I
well,
mean,
he is.
If they don't get some wins together, he doesn't make it to Thanksgiving. That's just bottom line.
I agree with that. I think of all the coaches, he's probably the one that's got the shortest leash. So we'll see. I like the Cats. Jack likes the Cats. Nate's going with the Brownies. Okay, Saints and Falcons. Falcons a 5.5-point underdog in Atlanta. Well, the clown show continues. Okay, so let me get this straight. They give up Matty Ice at the end of his career, and they bring in a second-string quarterback, Marcus Mariota. I know him well. He was a quarterback of the Titans for a number of years, did win a playoff game with them, but he was hurt all the time and threw a lot of interceptions to guys with passes right to the defender in the red zone. That's why they gave up on him and went with Tannehill. He was Derek Carr's backup for 2 seasons. This Atlanta team's a clown show. I mean, their roster is a bunch of has-beens. They got a couple young players here or there. I think, guys, that this is a 3-win team. It's the Atlanta clown show again. This is a 2-year to 3-year rebuild for them. They're going to lose a lot of games by a lot of points with Marcus Mariota, who just is not that great. I mean, we got rid of him, and he couldn't even start a game in Oakland. He was there 2 seasons. He was the backup with the clipboard. The Saints are legit. This is a legit team with a first-class defense. It's 5.5 in Atlanta. I love the Saints. Blowout. Lay the 5.5. Laugh at halftime. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I think your analysis is basically why I think that Atlanta is probably the right play, right? I mean, everybody in the world thinks that Atlanta is terrible. They think that, this is just a pushover game. Saints walk all over and blah, blah, blah. And, realistically, a lot of this sports betting stuff is just trying to fade the public, right? Every square person in the world is going to look at this game and think Saints by 1,000,000. And I don't think that's necessarily true. This is another really good spot for a bad sort of divisional underdog playing at home. I kind of like the clown show here, to be really honest with you. This is James's first game back since tearing his ACL. He's got to be rusty. The guy wasn't exactly safe with the football in his prime years, if you could call them those. I don't really have any interest in laying, 5.5 with Jameis. I don't really have any interest in betting on Atlanta, but I think if you have to, if someone is making you bet on this game, I think that Atlanta's got to be the way to go.
All right, Jack has no pick in this game. At the end of the day, it's still the Atlanta Clown Show. I love the Saints here, minus a 5.5. Guys, let's go to a quick word from our sponsors. When I get back, we got a lot of games to go over. We got the Washington, whatever the name of the team is. We got Dallas. We got the Giants. We got my Titans coming up. We got Chiefs and Cards all coming up right now. Stay with us on Godzilla Wins, your source for NFL winners. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and due to your incredible support, the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. As a special thank you, I am launching my brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code, and you'll get all my new footwear for as low as $29.98. My all-season slippers are made with my exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper. They're finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. And my new slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own. So go to MyPillow.com now to get your very own all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. This is an introductory offer and it won't last long, so order now.
Keep your feet cozy. Go to MyPillow.com/promo code Godzilla. MyPillow.com, promo code Godzilla.
Hi, folks. John Fredericks here. The wait is almost over. A new football season is about to begin. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get up 7. You win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Godzilla. That's promo code Godzilla only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Virginia only. Bonus issues as free bets. 1 easy win token issued as opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility in terms of DraftKings.com/football terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call the Virginia Problem Gambling Helpline 888-532-3500.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
You've heard Patrick Aslan come on the radio and talk about the economy and finances. Have you heard about Patrick's company, though, Target Trading Academy? Here's one of his students.
Hey, this is Brent from Pennsylvania. So I was always interested in futures trading. Heard Patrick on the John Fredericks show one day and figured, you know what, I'm going to take a crack at this. I'm so happy I did. The program they offer is all about discipline. It's not only a technical program, but it also teaches you mentally how to keep the money you earn. If you're interested in futures trading, I highly recommend you give them a shot. You won't be sorry.
For a limited time, we're allowing JFR radio listeners free access to our live trading room for one day. Just call us at 888-203-3731 and mention the promo code Godzilla. 888-203-3731, targettrading.co. We'll see you in the live trading room.
You're listening to Godzilla Wins, brought to you by DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, promo code Godzilla for the best money and betting giveaways in America. Here comes the Godzilla of truth, Godzilla Wins, on the John Fredericks Media Network.
That's right. Go to GodzillaWins.com. We got college football up today, posting a lot of stuff on there. Bookmark it, GodzillaWins.com. Tell you what, though, you want to make some money, here's what you do. DraftKings, right? There's your answer. Get ready for NFL one-week action starting tomorrow. Actually, started on Thursday. That's DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. I tell you what, they got some great things going up. Get up 7, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice. If your team wins by 7 points at any point during the game, gets up by 7 by any point during the game, you get paid instantly. Even if your team loses, you just can't beat this, folks. Also, bet $5 on any game and get $200 in free bets instantly by using promo code Godzilla. That's promo code Godzilla. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Godzilla. Get 200 free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any game. That's promo code Godzilla only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call the Problem Gambling Helpline, 888-532-3500. Okay, let's get to what do we call Washington now? What did they have a name? Was this like the team with no name? A man called Sue? What do we even call them? What are they? The Commanders or something? Check.
Commodores, Commanders, General,
Congressman,
Canadians.
Yeah.
What
Right,
is
that's
this?
it. That's it.
I mean, what the hell is their name? I thought the Washington Football Club, I thought when Snyder did that, I kind of liked that. I thought that was like in your face. Like, I'm not even going to name them now. But then they go to the Commodores or the Canadians or the Congressmen, whatever the hell they are. They're 2.5 over Nate's Jaguars. And Nate, I read your column last night about the Jags, and you're in love with Trevor Lawrence, so we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to bet the no names at home. I'm going to lay the 2.5 here. I bet a lot of favorites on opening day. I'm going to bet the Washington no-namers at home for one reason. I love their coach. Riverboat Ron. I love Rivera. I think he's got this team focused and isolated. They're not that good. Either is Jacksonville. I don't even know if they're playing at home, right? They play in Maryland. It's a terrible stadium they're in. Can't even get there. It's just horrible. Can't park. It's a whole separate story. But I'm betting on Rivera on game one. I'm going to lay the 2.5. I don't even know how they're going to score. I have no idea. But I know this coach is just very special. And he seems to get his team up for these games. And he's isolated them with all the nonsense going on with the ownership and everything else. I like the, what are they, Commanders, the team with no name. I like them at home, minus 2.5. Jack?
I don't think I picked this game, but if I had to, I'd pick Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a team that is going to surprise a lot of people. Doug Peterson is a good coach who gets a lot out of his quarterbacks. Jacksonville is going to win 5, 6, 7 games. Tennessee is going to win 5, 6, 7 games. You hate Jacksonville, so you pick Washington. Washington is okay, but I think Jacksonville wins this whole game, so it doesn't even matter the points. I'd take the money line as well. I like Jacksonville. I feel like Nate feels the same way.
Nate, you had a column yesterday. You can read it. Go to GodzillaWins.com. And you basically had a editorial love fest with the Jaguars. What's going on here?
Oh, big time. I am all in on the Jaguars. I love Trevor Lawrence. I love Doug Peterson. I love what they're doing in Jacksonville. I think that the Jags are a real threat to win the AFC South. You know, they're around 8-1 to win the AFC South. If you want to get down on some bets there, love that. I also got 125-1 on them to win the Super Bowl. No big deal. You know, I think this is a team that's going to take a huge step up. We're going to see a sophomore leap from Trevor Lawrence. He's got a real coach now. He doesn't have Urban Meyer walking around kicking people when they're warming up. He's got, Doug Peterson, who all Doug Peterson did was make Carson Wentz look like an MVP, which he's never been again. And all he did was win a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, who has never been good again. So we're looking at a guy who very obviously can coach up quarterbacks. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to benefit from that tremendously. They've added weapons around him. This is a Jacksonville team that I'm just super optimistic about, and I think it starts this week. I think they go to Washington, they beat them, they set the tone for the rest of the season, roll through the AFC South, maybe sneak into the playoffs, give me a little bit of a sweat.
All right, I love Washington. I'm going to lay the 2.5. You, Nate, are taking the Jags plus a 2.5, buying into the nonsensical hype. But that's why look, that's why we have a panel. Right? So we have to have a laugh every so often. New England at Miami. You think that I'm going to lay 3.5 points against Bill Belichick with sophomore quarterback Mac Jones with a year under his belt, and Belichick has had, 7 months to prepare for this game? You actually think that I'm going to lay points against him? New England plus 3.5. I bet coaches on early games because they're better prepared. Nobody is going to outmaneuver Belichick when he has had 6 months to prepare for this game. I think New England is a lot better than people are giving them credit for. Remember, they were the number 1 seed last season up till the final 2 games, and obviously they got blown out by Buffalo. I love New England here going in. I love Mac Jones. As a sophomore quarterback, he's matured. This is a balanced team. Everybody's buying the hype with the fish. I get it, right? I get the hype. I get their new receiver. I get what's going on with Tyreek Hill. But you got to win games. And Miami last season, they went 8 in a row by beating everybody with a losing record. They come into Nashville. They got annihilated. They're not that good of a team. We'll see how Tyreek does. I'm taking Bill Belichick and 3.5 on the road in Miami. Nate?
Yeah, I agree with you. It looked weird when I was reading through the lines to even see the Dolphins as big of a favorite. I can't really see it. Bill Belichick is just unbelievable as an underdog in his career. He tends to get a lot out of his guys as underdogs. Some of that's sort of skewed because he had, the greatest of all time playing quarterback for him for a while. But, Bill Belichick is still Bill Belichick. And I think against, particularly a first-year coach, in Mike McDaniel, which they have in Miami, I think that Bill Belichick has had way too much time to scheme this up and, throw them something that they won't be ready for. Everyone knows that Bill Belichick has not performed well. His teams have not performed well in Miami. But this just looks like too easy of a spot. I think you have to take the Pats here if you want to play it.
You got to take the 3.5 with Bill. Until somebody can prove to me that you can beat Bill Belichick with 5 months, 6 months, 7 months to prepare for a game, no. Now they got beat by Miami in the first game last season, right? But they had a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones, brand new, first NFL game. Now he's had 17 games under his belt. So I like New England here. Both of us like this. Jack had no pick. All right. Let's go to Giants and Titans. I'm not even going to make believe about this game. I think you're both wrong. I've been following this team since they were the Oilers. Love you, Blue. Back in the day when the quarterback was Pete Bethard, right? You'll have to go back in time for this. I followed them when their kicker was George Blanda. So I don't miss a lot of Titans-Oilers games. I followed the franchise the whole time. This is the best team we've ever had. I'm telling everybody out there in Titans land, this is the best team we've ever had. We have probably the first or second best defense to Buffalo in the NFL. We've got the best running back in maybe the history of the NFL in the Beast and Derrick Henry. I think Tannehill has gone through months of psychological counseling, getting over that playoff game. This team is hungry. They're nasty. They got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's written them off. They're at home playing a hapless Giants team. They also remember last season at home, they were unprepared, and Vrabel got his ass kicked by the Cardinals 38-13. Not going to happen again. I love the Titans here, -5.5. Nate?
that was a horrible take. The Titans are not good. They're not going to be good this year. They maybe win, maybe they go 500, right? Offensive line's getting older, it's getting worse. Defense loses best pass rusher. Offense is completely reliant on Derrick Henry, who is old, gigantic, and coming off of an injury and playing behind a worse offensive line than he had last year. I don't see how anyone could be optimistic about the Titans team, and everything that was said, by you is just sounds like, delusions. New York is going to be competitive in this game. Defensive line is a real strength for them. I think they're going to, be able to bottle up Henry. I think that they're going to make Ryan Tannehill's life pretty tough, and I just don't see how the Titans can be a touchdown favorite here. I think this is the Giants if you want to play it.
Jack?
You'd be lucky to get 3 points in 3 or 4 weeks. I'm with Nate here. The Titans are just not good. Derrick Henry is not as durable as he used to be. Their offensive line is a mess. They don't have A.J. Brown anymore. Their defensive line is fine, but their secondary is not so good either. The Giants aren't good, but neither are the Titans. And you get all these points because of last year and the success the Titans had. I like Vrabel. Everybody likes Vrabel. But, Dad, your strategy of I'm going to bet the Titans because I hope the Titans win is not a good betting strategy. Like, you can't just bet teams that you want to win and just hope they win so that you can have fun when they it's like double fun when they win. This team, I think this team wins 6 games. I don't think they're any good. But I didn't think they were any good last year, and they were first in the AFC, and then they lost to the Bengals.
This is like, guys, I love you both. And by the way, with us, if you just tuned into us, everybody knows me. I'm John Fredericks, our panel. My son, Jack Fredericks, who you just heard, dissing on the Titans. By the way, the same guy, when they got beat in the Super Bowl by 1 inch, cried in the stands in Atlanta, cried his eyes out. So, because I get all that, right? And also, Jack is live at the Jackpot Casino in Tunica. Nate Perry also with us. He is at the Cal Rev Casino in Nevada. Both my sons, basically. So, look, guys, you know what? Deja vu. You said this to me last season in the column, right? Titans were only going to win 7 games. They were going to make the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed. So here we go again. You guys are Titans haters. I get it, right? Titans are going to win this game. It isn't even going to be close. So, but you guys, whatever.
Okay,
Nate,
hold on.
And you did, and you have to admit that you cried like a baby when the Titans got beat in that Super Bowl.
Right, I was 10 years old. So let's not forget that. I cried we were in person at the greatest Super Bowl maybe in history, aside from maybe a couple others. The Giants won, and the Steelers Cardinals were really good, and there's a couple others there. But that was an incredible ending to a Super Bowl, and I'm pretty sure you cried too, so calm down. But, they're just because I liked the Titans in 2000, when, Clinton was president, doesn't mean I have to like them in 2022 when they stink. So, let's give the listeners.
All right, look, I'm going to win this bet, and you guys are both wrong, so whatever. All right, let's get to Chiefs and Cardinals, right? Kansas City goes into Arizona. They go into Phoenix. This is another road team, 6-point favorite. A lot of these games are 6-7, right? Just like we went over a bunch of them. Another one here. I love Kansas City in this game. I think the Cardinals are a corrupt franchise, and let me tell you why, and then I'll get to you guys. So right off the bat, Chiefs -6, to me, done deal. Kyler Murray, they have to put in his contract that he has to study film for 4 hours a week as part of his $230 million contract extension. Are you freaking kidding me? You have to put this in your contract? Then it gets leaked to the media. Then he whines about it. Then the Cardinals cave, take it out, and say, I'm sorry, and by the way, would you like a hot cup of coffee or a cold soft drink while you're playing Nintendo games? Unbelievable. This franchise is a disaster for doing this. They have no culture. They've turned the team over to a child man who doesn't want to watch game film. Hey, Kansas City Chiefs, you got Mahomes, you got Andy Reid. These are men. They play football. Blowout. Chiefs on the road, win big, lay the 6. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I think you make some interesting points there. I mean, ultimately, Andy Reid's, the best coach in the league. Mahomes is, in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. The thing that gives me pause here is that, and the thing that I'm just not understanding, the reason that I don't have a pick on this game, is the Chiefs opened at -3 on the road, and now it's 6. It got up to like 6.5 at one point. The line's just been all over the place. It just keeps climbing, and I just think that at some point there's got to be some value, maybe on the other side of the Cardinals, because they're just getting way too many points. This isn't a game that I have any interest in betting. It's not really even a game that I have that much interest in watching, but that's sort of where my reservations are and why I don't have a pick here.
On Getter Live, Rich Packton says, does J.J. Watt still play at Arizona? Answer, yes. He's still J.J. Watt. He's 1 year older, but he's still there. But the culture of the team is a cancerous rot. When you're letting little snot-nosed children like Kyler Murray that won't go in the game film room to get better with his teammates, when you're letting him run the culture of your team, you're destined to fail. I believe in culture. I do it in my company. I believe you have to set a culture. That's what the Titans do. That's what my Astros do. There's a culture. The culture in Arizona is Kyler Murray can do what he wants. This is the same thing, guys, that Arthur Blank did back with the Falcons when they had the quarterback that ended up going to jail, right? They had the same thing. He basically ran the team. You fail. Tampa's now got the same thing going on. We're going to get to that in a minute. I love Kansas City lay the 6. Packett, Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers is disgruntled again. Doesn't like his rookie receivers, doesn't like his coach, doesn't like his GM. Blasted the mayor of Green Bay, blasted the city council, said he doesn't like Green Bay. They're woke. Wanted to go to Nashville. Wanted Amy to pay him a lot of money. Amy wouldn't do it because she's sticking with Tannehill. He's disgruntled. Team is in disarray. They're going to Minnesota. New coach. They almost made the playoffs last season. Everything points to Minnesota at home as a 1-point underdog. But I'm betting the Packers because Rodgers is Rodgers. He goes in, he wins, he goes home. That's what I love the Pack in this game. Winning again with Rodgers, without any receivers, somehow he'll find a way to get it done. You don't make a lot of money in the NFL betting against Aaron Rodgers. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the most annoying person in football, right? He complains about everything, but something happens on Sundays when he puts the helmet on that he just sort of tunes all that out, and he tunes out all of his weird complaints that he has about everything, and he just goes out there and balls, right? And I think that that's kind of what we're going to see here. I actually kind of like this Vikings team, and I think this Vikings team will be good. But, this is the Packers and this is Aaron Rodgers, and if Vegas is to be believed, they think this is a close game. Who do you want with the ball at the end in a close game? You want Aaron Rodgers, or do you want Kirk Cousins?
I think
it's
the answer
pretty clear.
The answer is Aaron Rodgers, and what he says, and the media hates it because, plus he wouldn't get the vax, so that he's fighting with everybody, but he gets out there like you're saying, and he wins. Okay, big game in L.A. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers minus 3.5. Guys, I think this is the toughest game on the card, and I'll tell you why. Every time I bet against the Bolts, every single time, I get a lead, I'm counting my money, they score 3 touchdowns to win the game or something. Their offense is incredible. Hebert is a beast in the closing drives. I don't like betting against, what is it, LA now, San Diego, whatever it is. I don't like betting against the Chargers. So I'd like to take the Raiders in this game and take the 3.5. But the problem is, I don't know if they're any good. I mean, I got to see a game. So to me, this is the toughest game on the field. I'm going to bet LA. I'm going to lay the 3.5 only because I don't know how good or bad the Raiders are. I'm going to go here to Jack.
Yeah, I like the Chargers because I think this game is going to come down to the last 2 minutes. And in the last 2 minutes, if Derek Carr has the ball, he's dropping back and he's hitting his lineman in the head with the football. and it's flying up in the air, and it's an interception, and the thing's over. And if Justin Hebert has the ball, they're going down the field in 45 seconds and scoring a touchdown and winning by 7. So I'm okay laying the points here. I say Chargers.
Nate?
This isn't a pick for me. I think that, the Chargers are going to be good again, of course. It looks like they're kind of dealing with some injuries that could affect their secondary coming into this game. I'm interested to see how the Raiders put Devontae Adams into the mix, but this isn't a pick for me. This will be the game that's on in Reno in the afternoon, and I will be taking a nap getting ready for the Cowboys game.
This is just a tough game, guys. It's a very tough game because, Derek Carr is always underrated, but it's tough betting against the Chargers in LA because I know they're going to score a lot. I just don't know how good the Raiders' defense is. I just don't know. So if I have to bet the game, I'm going to lay the 3.5, but this is my weakest play on the card, to be honest. Okay, now let's get to Sunday night. We got Sunday night and Monday. Bucks at Cowboys. The Bucks are 2.5-point favorites on the road in Dallas. I had to put my glasses on to look at this line. I thought I had to lay 2.5 with Dallas. I'm getting 2.5 with Dallas. At home, Dak Prescott back. Remember, last season, 7 games, he hurt his leg. He was not the same quarterback in the first 7 games. Tampa Bay's got all kinds of problems. I don't know what's going on with Tom Brady, with his family. He's not there. He's taking personal leave. He's not prepared for this game. Bruce Arians isn't there. Brady pushed him out, didn't like him, so he goes to be some consultant. Kumbaya. There's a lot of issues going on here with Tampa Bay. Going into Dallas, place is going to be packed. Cowboys got something to prove. Prescott comes back. I'm getting 2.5. I love Dallas in this game. Take the 2.5. This is going to be a great game, but I love the Cowboys at home as the dog Sunday night. Let's go to Nate.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys here too. I am a Cowboys homer, but I feel like I can see the field a little bit more clearly than you can with the Titans, but I do like the Cowboys here. I think that they have a good team. Dak Prescott typically performs pretty well in these primetime games. Tom Brady has not with the Bucs. He hasn't really shown up in these big games when he's been on the Bucs, and they have a lot of questions. Both teams are basically rebuilding their offensive lines, which is going to be a huge question mark and could make life difficult for both of them in terms of passing the ball and running the ball. There's a lot of unknowns. I think you take the points here with the Cowboys. My lean, though, in the play that I actually made and the bet that I actually made is playing the under 50.5 just because I think that both of these teams might struggle to get a lot of offense going.
Well, we'll see what happens there. You like the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. Jack has no pick in this game. Guys, we got one more minute. Just over a minute. Denver at Seattle, Monday's night game. What a stinker. The only intrigue here, Russell Wilson goes back from Denver, goes back to Seattle for the first game. That's kind of interesting. Seattle's a train wreck. I mean, this is in a rebuild. I'm not a Pete Carroll fan. The guy cheated at USC. He was never held accountable for that. He's totally woke. I can't stand the team. I can't stand him. I'm going with Denver, laying the 6.5, only because Seattle is really not a good football team. And again, I bet the team that I think can win, and if they cover, they cover. I like Denver, lay the 6.5. Seattle is a stinker this season. Jack?
I think, Dad, if you counted up all the points you laid this week, it's probably like 75. All you do is lay points. I don't know, Seattle. Give me the points. Go Seahawks. 12th man.
Nate's got no pick. Jack's like Seattle plus 6.5 with woke, unaccountable Pete Carroll. Seattle's a train wreck, folks. Yeah, lay the points. Everybody's afraid to lay the points. If the team is going to win, it's a matter of how many they win by. You have been on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com for all our updates. GodzillaWins.com, your source for NFL and college football. For NFL and college football. For NFL and college football.